The Vryn didn't believe in mercy. Every species in the known galaxy understood this fundamental truth. They were apex predators from a death world where compassion meant extinction, where showing weakness invited annihilation. Their empire had consumed 17 civilizations in 3 centuries, leaving nothing but silent worlds and scattered debris fields. So when the human medic era found the wounded Vryn scout in the wreckage of the diplomatic shuttle, every instinct screamed at her to leave it, to let nature, or in this case war, take its course. The creature was small, perhaps juvenile. Its chitinous armor plates were cracked and oozing the phosphorescent blue blood that marked the Vryn as truly alien. 3 of its 6 limbs were twisted at impossible angles, and 1 of its compound eyes had been destroyed by shrapnel. It made a sound like grinding metal mixed with a kettle's whistle, pain universal and unmistakable. Ira's hands moved before her mind could stop them. "Command, this is Field Medic Chen requesting permission to render aid to enemy combatant," she said into her comm, already pulling out her medical kit. The response came crackling back after a long pause. "Negative, Chen. Vryn don't take prisoners and they don't honor mercy. Get to the extraction point, that's an order." She looked at the creature. No, she corrected herself, at Rauk, according to the translator's rough interpretation of its distress signals. Young, terrified, dying. "Copy that, command," Ira said, and switched off her comm. The next 6 hours were the most challenging of her medical career. Vryn physiology was nothing like human, or even remotely terrestrial. Their circulatory system operated on principles that made her think of hydraulics more than biology. Their nervous system was distributed throughout their body in nodes rather than centralized. But pain was pain, and trauma was trauma, and Era had sworn an oath that didn't specify species. She stabilized the broken limbs, sealed the cracks in the armor with emergency biofoam, and administered every broad-spectrum painkiller in her kit. When Rauk's remaining eyes focused on her, she saw something she'd never expected to find in a Vryn: confusion, wonder, something almost like gratitude. "Easy," she whispered, though she doubted it understood. "You're safe now." The extraction team found her 3 hours later, still sitting beside the now sleeping Vryn. They'd expected arguments, maybe even resistance. Instead, Era simply asked them to help her carry Rauk to the medical bay. The court-martial was inevitable. The Alliance had strict protocols about enemy combatants, especially Vryn. They were to be contained, studied, or eliminated, never aided. Never shown the weakness of human compassion. "Medic Chen," the tribunal commander said, his voice heavy with disappointment. "Do you understand that your actions may have compromised our position? That this creature could have been gathering intelligence?" "It was a child," Era replied quietly. "A wounded child. The Vryn have no children. They have future soldiers. Nothing more." But before the tribunal could render judgment, everything changed. The Vryn fleet appeared at the edge of the system. 12 warships that could have glassed the colony in minutes. Every defense station went to red alert. Evacuation sirens wailed. This was it, everyone thought. This was how humanity's expansion ended. But the fleet didn't fire. Instead, a single shuttle detached, broadcasting on every frequency. The message was simple, transmitted in broken but comprehensible standard. "Return of Rauk. Peace offering. Audience requested." The shuttle landed in the designated zone, and what emerged made the entire diplomatic corps question everything they knew about the Vryn. A full pack, what humans would have called a family unit, of the aliens stepped out, their armor decorated with markings that indicated high rank. At their center was Rauk, fully healed, armor gleaming, and they were carrying something. The banner was massive, woven from the materials of a Vryn warship's hull, inscribed with the sigils of their greatest enemy, the T'Kresh Dominion, which had been at war with humanity for 5 years. The same T'Kresh that had been pushing human forces back system by system, the same enemy that seemed unstoppable. The lead Vryn, who identified itself through the translator as Pack Leader CERN, approached the assembled human delegation. Its movements were careful, almost reverent. The human era showed the forbidden kindness to Rauk our youngest. Cern's translated voice crackled. This is unknown among stars, unknown among Vryn, unknown among all we have conquered. Cern gestured to the banner. This we took from Tikresh Command Vessel Prime, for Era who showed kindness, for humans who can be different. The Tikresh pressed toward your worlds. They will press no more. The implications took a moment to sink in. The Vryn had engaged the Tikresh, had defeated them, had brought their banner as a gift. We propose cease hostilities, Cern continued. Not alliance, not friendship. We are Vryn. We do not know these concepts, but we propose learning. From humans who can be kind. From Era who saved young Rauk. Rauk stepped forward then, moving to stand before Era. The young Vryn's freshly healed armor caught the light, and its remaining compound eyes fixed on her with that same look of wonder she'd seen in the wreckage. Thank you, Rauk said, the translator struggling with the emotion in its voice. You showed me possible different way, showed Pack possible different way, showed all Vryn possible different way. The diplomatic breakthrough that followed would be studied for generations. The Vryn didn't become allies. They were still too alien, too fundamentally different. But they stopped being enemies. They became something the galaxy had never seen before, Vryn who questioned their own nature, and it had all started because one human woman, in a moment of crisis, had chosen to see a wounded child rather than an enemy soldier. Later, when the historians asked Era why she'd done it, why she'd risked everything for a creature from a species known for cruelty, she simply shrugged. It needed help, she said. What else was I supposed to do? That, perhaps more than any weapon or strategy, was the most terrifying thing about humans. They could wage war with ruthless efficiency when needed. But they could also choose mercy when every logical calculation said they shouldn't. The Vryn understood strength. They understood survival. But humans had taught them something new. That sometimes the strongest thing you could do was care. And the galaxy would never be quite the same.